First of all, before we get started, I like to thank all the people that get in the comments section, all the people that like the videos. Obviously, I love likes. Dislikes are fine too. But the comment section is really where I get inspired to make these videos, when I see that people like a video enough or feel enough of emotion from what I say to give their own opinion or make a comment. I recently made a video. Hey, you can say whatever you want to me. You don't even need to be friendly about it, honestly. I'm not ever going to get offended by a comment section in the YouTube, right? Like I feel very comfortable with myself. So I encourage the emotion, honestly, because I really want to create a space where people feel that they can give their opinions strongly because I know what it's like. I know what it's like to have that burning desire to just talk about something you're into all the time. And regular people, if it's too niche, like talking about a bottom bracket, no one's going to want to talk about that. And so to have a space where people feel so strongly about something that's so dorky is incredible. So I wanted to really, really thank the comment section. And not just because of that, because the comment section actually inspired me to make this video. It's a review of the H Handlebars. If you've watched any of my videos with the Poseidon in it while I'm riding the Poseidon X, I've also made a video about upgrading the Poseidon, but I wanted to take some time to specifically talk about the H Handlebars that I got installed. I got them off Amazon, and the inspiration was the Jones H Handlebar. I looked at that. I looked at some of the reviews of the Jones H Handlebar, and from what some of the reviewers were saying is that the function is great, it's cool, but it's a little bit heavy. And so I think one of the reasons why I ended up getting this knockoff version or imitation version or just other version, however you want to say it, is because it was a little bit lighter. And although I'm not a weight weenie for things that matter, I am a weight weenie for things that don't matter. Getting lighter handlebars isn't gonna hurt anything, so why not save a few grams on that. So let me just talk about the pros and the cons of owning this H Handlebar. I've ridden on it for, I would probably say, 6 to 8 months now, so I have a good feel of how it is. Okay, so let's talk. The reason why I bought them is because I wanted a swept back position with my arms. I kind of would sit on my bike and envision where do I want my hands, and I kind of realized I want them more in a kind of relaxed by the side of my body walking style position. And so as I looked at bars and different bars, and the sweepback bars and the cruiser style bars were appealing to me. Again, being a dork, you're online, you're reviewing, you're looking at handlebars for your bike for hours. And then I came across the Jones bars. I was like, okay, these look cool to me. And I've seen a few people in the wild with their bikes actually have Jones bars on it. And I was like, these look pretty cool. So I researched them more, researched the cost, looked at some reviews, and then just kept looking online for like swept back handlebars, sweep back, things like that that'll put me in a more cruisy position. These bars might have a slightly different dimension than the Jones bars, I'm not sure. And I know the benefit of a Jones handlebar is that they have a proprietary bag that fits in their dimensions. So I'm not sure of any of that as it pertains to these ones that I got off Amazon. So I don't know about that. Let's talk a little bit more about the cons. It's comfortable. It's increased the comfort so much, especially when I installed it with a new fork that is uncut. I did not cut the fork of my Poseidon, so it's tall. It kind of has a giraffe-like neck look to it. I just put a bunch of spacers on it, so it increased the height. And again, that with those bars, the two things together, has just increased the comfort. It's just made it so it feels like a walking position. The position is very relaxed. Again, like I said, it's just almost like walking. So that in turn has increased the endurance. I can ride for miles and miles and miles. So if you were using this, when they say this is a touring, that's part of the ad, as they try to sell you these handlebars, is that they're for touring, gravel. Yeah, if touring is going to increase the comfort and maybe give you some more positions to put bags on something, yeah, it'd be great for touring, because the endurance I feel on this bike, I just don't feel tired when I ride the same distances. The standing position is amazing with these sweep back handlebars. The upright position, it allows you to just transfer a lot of power. Like when you're standing, you're able to transfer that standing power where maybe your aero is compromised, but because you're grinding on that power. So it makes kind of going uphill a little bit easier, I feel, that position. Especially as you're not going fast, right? It is going to compromise some speed, but the comfort and the arm positions that you can put it in are great. Aesthetically, the bike looks a little bit funky to me, but I've grown to love it. I kind of just love the H bars anyway when I've seen them on other bikes. So the more and more I look at my bike every day, I'm like, it just looks cool, But at first, it took a second to get used to, I'm not gonna lie. The hoop, and also it does offer multiple hand positions. So you can put your hands up on that front part and make yourself more aero. So that is also another benefit. After about 6 weeks of use, I tweaked all the positions like the shifter, the brakes, and the bell. And my hands never have to leave the handlebars for anything. I can shift, I can brake, I can use the bell. When you're going downhill and descending and you have control of all your everything, it makes descending so much fun, especially compared to the geometry of the bike and the fact that it's a gravel bike with wider tires. It makes going downhill just super duper fun, especially in the city where it used to be terrifying. So it feels very safe and stable for my daddy baby adventures when I go out with my son. I just call them our bad boy adventures, like the movie with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence back in the day. I know they came up with the recent one, but I didn't watch that. But we're the bad boys, So for our little bad boy adventures, it's the bike, it's the configuration. So I would also say another pro is if you like drop bars or you like flat bars and you want some of the benefits of drop bars, but you don't want to do drop bars, the multiple hand positions, and then just the standard hand position, you don't really need to move from there. It's so comfortable that I don't find myself fidgeting. I might fidget a tiny bit on my saddle or something, but as far as the hands, I can just keep them there all day. So it just increases the endurance. So some of the benefits of drop bars is that the endurance is increased. You can ride for longer because of the positions. This will increase your endurance. It'll really make it so comfortable, and the position that you're sitting in, you can just ride for miles and put down some power, decent amounts of power, because the standing position offers you a good amount of power transfer. So let's talk a little bit about the cons though. The cons to me are the handling is a little bit awkward at first, and I don't know whether the handling is an overall compromise. So it could be. I've been riding them for so long and I'm so used to this that I don't know. It could. Anyone else who's ridden these, definitely get in the comment section and say what your experience is. But I would say if you're just doing city riding and commuting, it's not really gonna matter. But if you're doing serious technical riding on tech, then I don't know. I would consider that. There is a speed compromise overall. It's not a very aerodynamic position, but obviously that's not the goal. The goal is to increase endurance and go on adventures for longer while carrying gear. So under that, it's not that much of a con, but it is a con for other types of riding if riding speed is something you value. Another con is, should I have gotten just the sweep back bar? Did I need the hoop? And time will tell. Maybe there's some product or something that I end up using that'll give me that, because I don't necessarily use that aero position up front, although I have, and maybe if I was going on longer journeys I would. So again, like I said, time will tell, and putting my bike through different situations will give me the full answer on that. Again, if you have experiences with that, having tried a sweep back and the H, and you can kind of speak to that, I'd love to hear about that. Imitation, should you support the originator? I mean, it is a different product and it is lighter. Again, if get in the comment section. But that's another thing that could be a con. Maybe you should just get the Jones bars because they originated it. They came up with that idea. I don't know. Another con is that I needed to lengthen my derailleur line and lengthen my brake hose line on the right side. And so I had to purchase new hoses and new derailleurs and housing, and have the mechanic install that. So that cost another $140 to have that all installed. So that was a con. And then the particular experience of the mechanic of that time wasn't the best. So it cost almost like it cost over $200. Let's just say it cost over $200 for me to, change that system over. I kept the old handlebars, and we used the old handlebars to convert my partner's Poseidon Redwood from a drop bar to a handlebar. So some of the parts we still kept. Was it worth it? Having ridden it now for so long, yes, it was worth it. Definitely an upgrade. I was definitely salty about the $140 it cost the mechanic. I was definitely salty that I didn't do my own mechanic work. And at this point in my life, if you've ever had a toddler or a young child, you can't really do mechanic work with a child in the house. They want to do everything that you're doing. Baby sees daddy doing it. He wants to grab all the things, touch all the things. Man, having the mechanic is a lifesaver, and I will definitely make a video about why you should support your local mechanic. Anyway, thank you for listening to my review on this H Handlebar. Overall, like I said, I love it on my bike. It looks cool. I'm so used to it, and I can't envision it without it at this point. But time will tell, like I said. Thanks for watching. Good night. Peace.